Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all, it's me, your fave, back with a new and improved Here's the Heat 2.0.
Jazz on fire.
She on fire.
Wow, before I say anything, I just want to take a moment to appreciate that new intro. Woo. PK Spaz on the beat, Jam, aka DJ Jam last, snap with that mix, and I just went off with the concept like chef's kiss, baby. So as you can see, we've come a long way from the Lenovo and the bootleg video editor, baby. Like, hey Premiere Pro, we're gonna put those journalism skills to good use, okay? So with the new Here's the Heat, this is how it's gonna work. They're gonna be much shorter. You're welcome. And honestly, you know, me too, because editing was like the literal devil. Two, we're gonna be more consistent. So I realize this is my hustle, my career, my grind, my passion. So I need y'all to hold me to it. Three, we're gonna be a little less focused on me because, you know, apparently I learned that nobody really cares about me. But I'm gonna run my mouth anyway because I learned that I don't care about y'all. It's all love, it's all love. You know, we're here. So how we're gonna do this, we'll do the famous fire intro, you know, chat about some hot topics to see what's hot in the streets, speak with the guest, each show, ooh. And finally, I'll give my hot take with the classic what you mad about today, because like I said, I'm gonna run my mouth. So with that in mind, let's just release a little early in this first episode. We've been coping, we've been hurting, and we've been healing. And to help that process, I thought we all could have a little help from our amazing guest, our first guest, a UNC alum and licensed social worker, Ms. Phylicia Jasmin. So let's just flex on my good sis right quick. Phylicia Jasmin is a class of 17 UNC grad, class of 19 USC grad, the founder of College by Her, and a clinical fellow at the Yale University studying family therapy in their School of Medicine. And the list, you know what, the list goes on and on, so check the resume later. So first of all, how are you?
I'm doing good. Tuesdays is one of my longer days at work, so a little tired, but overall I'm doing well. What about yourself?
I'm good. Good as we can be with everything going on. What do you do to release and I guess like offload?
So I have a therapist. I feel like so many other therapists I know also go to therapy. So that's definitely something that's helpful to me. And then also I try to do things that are strictly for fun. So I know I see like a lot of memes and stuff that talk about like our generation has kind of we always want to do like side hustles and things like that. And so like sometimes we don't have hobbies. And so I like to do things that aren't related to anything, not for money, not for business, not for anything like that. And that really helps me to unload because there's no pressure. So whether that's like coloring, reading a book of like interest, just really getting back to things that I like to do and enjoy. And like I said, have nothing tied to it like a deadline or somebody paying me or something like that.
But I think, like you said, that pressure to like make money or to kind of like get views or things has like put that extra layer of, you know, stress on us. So I think that's a very good point that I'm hoping everyone is writing this down. This is like a free session. And girl, we gotta understand we a little broke over here, so we're gonna charge it to the game. You know, build me when we big.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
Perfect. And so I think the Black community, we've been in this, I guess, I would say constant state of mourning or like grief. We could say for years, but especially this summer. So being disproportionately affected by Corona, and also having to, you know, fight the good fight and see, you know, Black and brown bodies being harmed and abused and even, you know, murdered on TV. And so I wonder about this idea of becoming desensitized. Is it possible that we have become desensitized to these things?
I think so. I was just talking to someone recently. She was saying how like, she was kind of feeling all of these emotions in her body and was trying to figure out like, kind of what was going on. And I think the way I had to explain it to her is, sometimes kind of just in the motion of the day to day and us seeing all the things that we're seeing and experiencing, we really can forget that this is not normal. None of this is normal. So of course COVID and like, being in your house, but to see someone getting killed, like random video of you scrolling, that isn't normal.
And there's also this idea that, you have to hurt before you can heal, but like, how do you heal when there's constant hurt? Sometimes at some points, I feel like I am overwhelmed with every aspect of my identity. So there's nowhere to turn. What would you recommend for feeling just exhausted from all sides?
Yes, definitely. As a Black woman, I can 100% relate. And I think for me, it's especially now, it's really become finding my joy where I can. So I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and like other places talk about that, but it's so real. And so, like you said, being that there can be days when you wake up and you're like, I'm exhausted. You can see another hashtag and see somebody else died, see this, see that. And so even if that means in that day, like you sit with your favorite song playing and you eat Ben & Jerry's and that's the happiest you've been in the last week, like that is so big. And I think realizing how, that joy is a part of the movement as well, and is also resistance. And so really finding those moments in every day, no matter how big or how small, I think is something that we can do because it's something within our control, right? And all these other things aren't.
It's difficult, they do everything to keep us down. So just smiling, waking up, and doing that little thing that you've been avoiding all week. So just to play devil's advocate for this last question, I have a Black therapist as well. So thinking about it, what would you say is, the importance of a Black therapist for Black people? Or I guess like also tying into it, what would be your why for being a Black therapist?
Yeah. So I think definitely the sense of relatability. And so I think that answer for me kind of answers both of those questions. So as being a Black therapist, and the reason I kind of got into this was because, being younger and wanting to have wished I could have been able to talk to someone who looked like me. It's kind of a big, reason that I got into this field. And I think also too, as a Black therapist, I've been able to talk to Black teenagers and girls specifically who, have kind of shared with me like, wow, like you understand me, like I feel heard, and different things like that. And so I think that's why it can just be so powerful, because you're in therapy to get help. And so you don't want to be in therapy to get help, validate your life, explain everything, like all of those other things, because that's too much. So I think that's why it can be really important to have a therapist with who you identify with, and have that like kind of safe and unspoken connection that you guys just kind of, understand each other.
Yes, thank you so much for joining in, for speaking with us. Like I said, I really hope y'all were writing this down because, for those of us who may not have, we may not have a therapist, maybe still looking, maybe, still trying to battle that first layer of stigma. This was your mini therapy session for today. Here's the Heat bought you a mini therapy session, and I'm going to get billed. We're going to get billed, so I'm going to have to charge every single one of you who watched. But again, thank you for speaking with us, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you didn't get enough of Miss Phylicia Jas in today's episode of Here's the Heat, College by Her is hosting their annual conference on Saturday, August 1st. The conference is open to all Black college girls, and this year is virtual, so you can take it anywhere. Access to the conference gives you info on mental health, relationships, and you get an amazing mental health guide written by Phylicia Jas herself. So be sure to sign up, y'all. That's it for your first episode of Here's the Heat. Hopefully I didn't bog you down too much, but I did want to make sure to touch on the issue of mental health and everything that we're facing right now, especially for me. So like I said, we're coping, we're dealing with, but we're healing, because that's what we do. And so yeah, that's it. Hope y'all stay tuned for the next episode, which I don't know what it'll be yet, because like I said, life has just been a mess, but that's all. Jazz on Fire out.
She on fire.